could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I know words, I have the best words.
He took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned.
Take a look at the oranges of the... Look, wait. They sacrifice every day for the furniture.
Some words that have been said about you.
Okay. Nazi wine mom, Nazi cave woman.
I don't let name calling bother me or offend me.
This one's from someone across the pond, a daft wanker. That's British for stupid. Lives on a diet of glue sticks. A lower level life form.
Cephahide.
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Hello, and welcome to Left is Right, the show where we point out the hypocrisy and idiocy of the right wing. And I am your host, Steve Weekly. My co-host, Dawn Weekly, over in the other side over there. Just how is your week, Dawn?
It is going by swimmingly. How is yours?
It's going by. I don't know that it's swimmingly, but going by.
Well, it's been hard because I've been holding my breath all week waiting for the Supreme Court to drop their decision on the Trump immunity claim. So I'm about out of breath, man. I'm still holding my breath.
Yeah, they're gonna bend over and crap that out probably next week.
If then.
They have to. I believe next week is the deadline.
They'll say new rules. We're gonna go longer.
Yeah.
Why not?
We're just not gonna decide it.
Yeah. We're gonna hold that over for next term because we're not sure what we want to say.
Right, because they could still fast track it. So but I know you had brought up something about some folks coming up with new names for a certain representative.
Oh yeah, we want to start there. Okay, so I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, where Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett kind of got into a little to do.
It was a cat fight. It was a cat fight.
Well, now Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I think your eyelashes are getting in the way, talking about Jasmine Crockett, who does wear very prominent false eyelashes, I will say. But that is the style. Lots of people doing it. But you're not supposed to disparage someone's appearance. So
that's exactly what I expect out of a snowflake like you.
Yeah. So Jasmine Crockett was asking the chairman of the committee, Representative Comer, so hypothetically, if it's okay to say something about my eyelashes, hypothetically, what if I said that someone has a bleach blonde, bad built butch body? Would that be disparaging? Would that be allowed? And so that kind of went viral, the bleach blonde, bad built butch body. So I was listening. I saw Jasmine Crockett on a couple of things last week. She was on the Chris Hayes Why Is This Happening pod, but that's not where this came about. Where did this come about? This might have been Kimmel or one of those Colbert, one of the late night shows. So when she was on that show, they came up with some other alternatives that she could think about using next time. And the one that I thought was the best was ding dong die job, dipstick and lipstick. So if I can say that without tripping over myself, it was ding dong die job, dipstick and lipstick. That's what she used to say next time.
Nice. Nice.
Or you could say QAnon hot pocket gazpacho gobbling guinea pig. Or you could say tank top tramp stamp truck stop trader tot. That's a good one too.
Yeah,
Tank
they punched it up pretty good, I'd say.
Tank top tramp stamp truck stop tater tot. Oh, traitor tot. Trader tot. Sorry, I didn't say it. Tank top tramp stamp truck stop trader tot.
Wow.
Or hoagie head horsehair Hitler happy hate hobbit. Or funny one here. Last one, tugboat torso Trump stump 2-bit Tanya Harding.
I actually like that one better.
Yeah, 2-bit Tanya Harding's a good one. So those are some alternative alliterations that she could use next time. And I thought they were mildly humorous, so I wrote them down. So I thought I'd share them with you all because probably not everybody saw whatever it was I was watching when I wrote that down.
That's true. Not everybody gets their TV direct from the Kremlin like you do.
Stop it. I canceled my RT subscription a long time ago.
Okay. All right. I know you're getting that stuff bootleg, though. Well, yeah, I mean, I really don't understand what her deal is. I mean, I guess she's in a district where there's no chance that she'll be removed.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no. She's in Alabama, I believe, right? Or is it Georgia? Same thing. I can never get those. I can never tell those.
Ala, Georgia?
Yeah, she's from Ala, Georgia.
Ala, Georgia?
Yeah.
Ala, Georgia?
So, as you know, yeah, that's deeply red. So.
Yeah, but even in a red district like that, they can't find some other right-wing whack job that would do a better job that's not quite as embarrassing.
You know those MAGAs love her and the way she acts. They love it. They eat it up.
Yeah, but they hate Karens. And she is nothing but a Karen.
Well, you know.
She's Representative Karen.
She's Karen version 1?
Yeah, it makes 0 sense to me that she would still be.
Newsflash, none of this makes actual sense. Newsflash, Steve. Come on.
True, if it made sense, we probably wouldn't have anything to talk about.
What is wrong with you?
I know. Gosh, what am I thinking?
Trying to make sense out of this. Holy cow, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So next.
Well, I know that you had talked about Kimmel, and he did a bit late last week that I thought was interesting that I'd want to share with the class. So let's take a look.
His puppeteer was on break, I think. In Louisiana, the governor of Louisiana yesterday signed a law that requires the 10 Commandments to be posted in every public school classroom in the state, which is a brazen attack on the American idea of separation of church and state. Maybe they should also post the Constitution in the Louisiana governor's office so he can give it a read every once in a while. Although I will say, in fairness, the point of posting the 10 Commandments in schools is so we can remind third graders not to commit adultery. Not only is this a dumb waste of time, energy, and money, here's some video of Governor Landry signing the bill. Keep an eye on the kids standing just behind him.
This bill mandates the display of the 10 Commandments in every classroom in public, elementary, secondary, and post-education schools in the state of Louisiana.
I don't blame her. I really don't. She's okay. She fainted. But that's a sign, right? I mean, if you're talking about the 10 Commandments, the governor said he's looking forward to a legal challenge. He believes this is a big win for him politically. Now, this is the kind of thing we have to deal with now in the Trump era. Everything is upside down. People are doing things just for attention. In fact, let's go over those 10 Commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt make no idols. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor thy father and mother. You know what? I'm going to give him that one. He has his mom's hairdo. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Okay? It's 1 for 10. Not bad.
Yeah, so he got him pretty good on that, I think.
That was a very classic roast. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that was well written. I'm just a little perturbed I didn't have anything to do with it. No, far smarter minds at work than mine. I mean, the comment that was most poignant is when he said that the governor should keep a copy of the Constitution on his wall.
Mm-hmm.
The hypocrisy. Is there any way to figure out how these people can justify the hypocrisy to themselves?
They're chinos?
They're chinos.
Christians in name only?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I thought you were talking about those pants that chicks used to wear in the 70s.
Yes, it's all about the pants. No, and I do believe that I read somewhere that some group, is it a satanic cult, is suing to have their commandments also put up on the wall of every classroom because, you know, if you're going to have one, you need to have them all.
That means you got to have part of the Quran up.
So they're not like saying this is wrong. They're saying, okay, great idea, but put mine up there too.
Right. I mean,
which I
that's
think
one way
is a good way to go about it.
No, I agree. I understand that. I do know what you're saying.
Because it's a real poke.
Right. And then you had sent me the one article about the person's new approach to the Trumperism. Instead of arguing with them, it was just appeasing them, I guess. Or what was it? It was, you know, you're right, but this type of thing approach. And I've been trying to figure out how that can be put in practice in government. And I think that might be an example of how to do it. You know what? You're right. Your 10 Commandments goes up there, but we want the satanic 10 Commandments, and then another group's going to come in and want the Muslim 10 Commandments, and then the Buddhists are going to get involved and want theirs up there, and the Hindus going to. I mean, these walls are going to be covered. There's not going to be a place.
I think everybody should get in the act. I think everybody should join in. But the thing that I sent you is something that from the other 98% that said instead of trying to argue with somebody or trying to be factual and telling a Trumper all the bad things that he does, you simply say, I understand why you're supporting a man whose morals and actions align perfectly with your own. I understand that being like him is something that excites you and makes you feel less insignificant in a world that you can't understand. I understand it's much easier to let someone else think for you and decide where you stand on important issues rather than trying to educate yourself and form your own opinions and thoughts. That way you're saying, I understand how you feel, but at the same time, you're telling them that the way that they feel, why they feel that way is because they're,
dumb and lazy.
Dumb and lazy. Yeah. And they basically saying that you like them because you're dumb and lazy and insecure. And so
Yeah.
I think that might be a way to get someone to go, well, no, I'm not. Well, then why do you like somebody who's like that?
Yeah. Might be able to cut 5 or 6 out of the herd.
If your values don't align with his values, why did you laugh when he mocked a disabled person? Why do you think it's okay that he should grab someone by the pussy? And why do you agree with somebody who says that white supremacist and neo-Nazi people are very fine people? If you don't think that that's the case, why, you obviously do because you support him. So you must support his views the way he is.
Yeah. They like to fall back on guilt by association in a lot of cases. Correct. But on the other hand, was Trump's spiritual advisor it was just brought out that Trump's spiritual advisor is a pedophile?
Oh, really? No, I hadn't heard that one. Believe it or not, I had not heard that.
Yeah, I saw something about it the other day.
Are you sure it wasn't his doctor, Ronnie Johnson?
Well, no, it said spiritual advisor.
Oh, it was his. Okay, I thought it was his doctor, Dr. Ronnie Johnson, who he was talking about. Gave him a memory test and he passed just fine with flying colors. Dr. Ronnie Johnson did that. Except for there is no Dr. Ronnie Johnson. It's Ronnie Jackson.
Right.
That was funny. Anyway, sorry.
Gotcha.
His spiritual advisor is a pedophile. Imagine that.
Yep.
Yeah. You never find religious people being pedophiles. It's always drag queens, isn't it?
The drag queens, yes, they're all the peds. Yep.
Yeah, and
drag queens and the gays.
People, those are the ones who are the pedophiles. That's what you always see. They had that one show on TV that time where they would pose as children, and then they'd go set up a time to go meet them. Then they go to their house and they come in with cameras and catch them. You remember that story or that TV show?
Yeah,
it was always
nothing.
Drag queens, right?
Nothing but homosexuals, transvestites, and drag queens.
So I'm saying
there was never any businessmen or priests or
100% of the time.
Yep.
Drag queens and transvestites, 100% of the time.
Yep, absolutely.
Or transgender people, not transvestites. Sorry, those are two different things.
Great. We're canceled now. Way to go. Well, let's be honest. Trans people, you need to get together, come up with the wording you want, and post it so everybody's aware. Because frankly, it changes once or twice a year, and it's hard to keep up with.
No, it's not. You just have to pay attention.
No,
pay attention.
No, not everybody has time to pay attention to everything. They need to.
Isn't that what our world is about? Paying 10 seconds of attention to everything?
Takes more than 10 seconds of paying attention to remember.
No, I'm not saying you remember, but
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you want us Gen Xers and Boomers to know what you want to be called, then you need to, come up with a common name that all of you will accept and then post it. And
speaking of that, there's no boomers here. I am
And then
a Generation Jones. I'm a Joneser.
What? That's new.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's new. You're a boomer.
I'm not a boomer.
You
I'm a
are
Joneser.
boomer. You're a boomer.
I'm a Joneser.
Boomer.
Joneser.
Boomer.
So
Yeah,
I'm
Gen X.
the same generation as mom and dad. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, it was a big generation. Sorry.
No. No, I'm a Joneser.
No, mom and dad were part of the greatest generation.
Oh, they're at the very end of that, weren't they? I am a Joneser. Squarely
You're
in
at
the
the
Jones
very end of the
generation.
greatest generation. You're at the very end of the boomers, and I'm at the very beginning of Gen X.
No, I am in Generation Jones.
There is no Generation Jones. You quit coming up with stuff to make you feel better.
Look it up. Look it up.
I don't have to look it up. I know all there is to know. I represent the right in this group.
It's 1954 to 1965. Generation Jones.
Nobody's ever heard of it. It doesn't count.
Just because you don't know about it. People have heard of it. I'm in a Facebook group with lots of them.
Well, we'll leave it up to our viewers. Has any of our viewers ever heard of Generation Jones? I think it's some made up shit just so she doesn't have to be a boomer. And if you have, please, by all means, give us the lowdown. I want to know from when to when, who named it, who makes it official. Oh, and we got a comment. Hold on. Don Weekly says, sure, I heard of it. Like you're going to sneak that one in. From 1954 to 1965. Well, wow. It's funny that one of our viewers has the same name as you.
What a coincidence.
I know. Oh, wait a minute. Here it's official now. Our one true viewer has never heard of it. Uh-huh. Yep.
That's because she's not part of the group.
I see. See how you're gonna play it.
You got to be a member. It's a secret society.
See? Well, see, then it absolutely doesn't matter because I could get a group of like 50 people around who would say that we aren't Gen X. We are the second greatest generation. So.
Don't make me laugh.
You're just upset.
Okay, I won that argument. What's next?
Huh?
I won that argument. What's next?
Well, being that you already mentioned it, wasn't there some crazy shit happening in Alabama recently? Over a long time. That was like crazy, and I can't believe there's no criminal. No way that this is criminal, not criminal.
Yes, this town in New Bern, Alabama. It's a small town of about 133 people, and it's 40 miles west of Selma, Alabama. Now, this town is majority Black, 2-to-1 Black residents compared to white residents. But the mayor and the city council are always white. And you know why that is, Steve?
Breeding?
It's because they haven't had any elections for 60 years. Instead, what they were doing was passing down the office to
wait a minute. So what you're saying, hold on just a second. So what you're saying is they haven't had an election to office since the Watts riots.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty shortly after they crossed the Pettit Bridge, they were like, no more elections here. This white mayor, when I'm done, I'm just going to give my office to my white buddy, Beauregard. So they were handing down the office specifically to their own people. So what happened was in 2020, some enterprising young black man who lives in New Bern, he was a volunteer fireman. And what he decided to do was he got himself qualified to be mayor. So pardon me?
Through petition signings, I assume?
The article from AP, which is where I got this from, did not state what exactly those qualifications were. For all I know, he had to put a bag over his head and go out in the front yard and crow like a chicken. I have no idea what the qualifications were.
Well, hell, I'm running. Be listening in the morning.
That's from the Dick Van Dyke Show, by the way.
I know.
So he qualified
Relax,
himself.
Boomer. I remember from reruns.
We've been over this. I'm a Joneser. So he got himself qualified to be mayor. And since nobody else ran or got qualified, he was the only one. So, and they didn't even like hold an election. But since he was the only one who qualified for mayor, by default, he became the mayor. And that was in 2020. And what happened was, since that time, the old white regime has locked him out and prevented him from actually acting as mayor. So he filed suit, and they have a settled agreement that will allow him to take over as mayor. Pardon me. Sorry. So they have a proposed agreement to settle the lawsuit. And if it's okayed by the district court judge, then he will take over and be the mayor. But I couldn't believe when I was reading this that there was a place where this kind of stuff is still happening. They were the black residents had no power. They didn't even have elections.
Did they? Okay, so he got elected mayor, and they lock him out. How long has it been going through the court system that it's taken? He was elected in 2020. It took 4 years to get to the district court level.
Oh, there was no facts in there to say when he filed suit. He could have waited 2 years to file suit. I don't know. Or he could have filed suit the next day. Doesn't say. And this is a proposed settlement. So this is the two sides were still bickering, but they negotiated and came to a proposed settlement. This isn't even where they had a hearing and the judge decided something. This is a proposed settlement between the two sides. And then what happens is that they put the proposed settlement down on paper and present it to the judge for the judge to sign off on it if it's okay.
Right. No, I understand that. It just, how is it? It just blows my mind that there's no criminality in that.
Yeah, I mean, this is totally a civil suit, and how it has not been a crime that they have not held elections and they've been handing down their offices to their heirs or whatever, how that has not been a crime, I don't know.
I mean, because they had to have had elections at one time before 60 years ago.
It's implied,
and I'm assuming that New Bern has been an incorporated town longer than 60 years. So therefore, history is on the side of they've had elections. And because of the Watts riots, they decided, no more elections.
But I don't think it was, I don't know if it was the Watts riots specifically, but the whole civil rights movement, I think, was the gist.
Either way, you know what I'm getting at. That blatantly says criminal offense, election fraud.
But there was no election. How can there be election fraud if there's no election?
not holding an election when it's supposed to be held.
Maybe their town, maybe they passed a law that said they don't have to have elections. I don't know. But yeah, somebody should look into that.
Apparently they didn't because he got elected.
But you missed what I said. I don't think there was even an election. He by default became mayor because nobody else qualified.
I understand, but that tells me that because he qualified, there was laws in the city laws on the books about elections that they're supposed to have and win. If nobody else qualified and he's the only one that did, there was something on the book somewhere that said,
here's how you qualify,
election and win. So
yeah, here's how you qualify. So obviously there were rules about qualification.
Right. So therefore, that's 60, at least, somewhere around 60 years of electoral fraud perpetrated by those people. How is that not criminal?
They had laws, they were just ignoring them.
Yeah, and Trump is going to court every other day because of doing that.
Yeah,
and
they should look into that. Yeah. Somebody should look into that and see what laws were broken and if there is a corresponding remedy for having broken that law. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, seems to me the NAACP has been overlooking something that they might want to get involved in.
The NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund represented Braxton, who was the person who did this, and they declined to comment on the AP article. Also, as part of the suit, the town will hold municipal elections in 2025.
Awesome. So they're going to go ahead and hold elections and just hope the guy doesn't win again.
But, 2-1.
Yeah. I get you. I mean,
they just got to get everybody to vote.
Yeah. How are things that loosey-goosey somewhere in this country where the government is, going crazy, according to the right wing? But yet, you got that going on. I mean, Alabama going to Alabama. There ain't no doubt about it. But come on.
It's just like I was saying earlier, that whole, we're a post-racial society now because Obama was elected. So that makes us post-racial. So we don't need affirmative action or anything like that because there's no racism going on. That story just goes to prove that that's totally not true. Stuff like this is still going on.
And when you think that maybe the ACLU would be able to use that as reasons to go back to the Supreme Court and be like, you are wrong, rethink your decision?
One would think, but the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of things, so whatever.
Yeah, but are they?
No.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's really kind of put me over the top. That's really just a total disgrace. And you know what? I'm going to need about 3 minutes to calm down and collect my thoughts. So we'll be back in just a little bit.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
In a world where the future can seem uncertain, there's one place you can turn to for guidance and peace of mind. Legacy Law Firm, owned and operated by attorney Dawn Weekly. With Attorney Weekly's expertise in elder law, you can trust that your family's legacy is in capable hands.
At Legacy Law Firm, we understand the importance of planning for the future, whether it's drafting a will, navigating Medicaid, or protecting your assets. We're here to help.
Attorney Weekly made the process seamless and stress-free.
Her knowledge and dedication are truly exceptional.
Don't leave your family's future to chance. Contact Legacy Law Firm today and schedule your consultation with Attorney Dawn Weekly. Legacy Law Firm, helping you build a lasting legacy from one generation to the next.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
And welcome back to the show. All right, I've calmed down a little bit, gathered my thoughts, and I just want to tell you that a generation named after some guy who killed all of his parishioners is not something I'd want to be a part of.
That's not what it's about.
That's exactly what it's about. I Googled it.
About keeping up with the Joneses, because that's what was really popular then.
Oh, no. I Googled it. I Googled it, and your made-up generation is, has a name, but it's after some guy who killed off all his parishioners down in...
It is not named after Jim Jones. Nobody even knew about Jim Jones, 54 to 65.
Whatever. I'm just saying.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Come on. Get it right.
Still a made-up thing. Still made
I'm
up.
sticking with it because I don't want to be a boomer. So there you go. I'm a Joneser.
I don't want to be a Gen Xer. I want to be a member of the second greatest generation.
Do what you want. I don't care.
Oh, see, now it's all loosey-goosey on everything. Wow. No structure in anything for you boomers.
That's right. That's right.
Excuse me. Well, moving on to the next topic. I know that I mentioned earlier.
Put your teeth in, Grandpa.
If a mini stroke is good enough for a senator, it's good enough for me.
God.
Our illustrious Supreme Court has crapped out a few very relatively unimportant decisions And I know that you were going to grace us with your rundown of the Supremes.
So basically, it's 3 really bad decisions and 1 bone. So,
are we at all surprised?
Yeah. First off, they reversed the Biden administration's program that was set to go into effect at the beginning of the month on the student loan forgiveness and changing the loan repayment structure. They put the kibosh to all of that and said that they don't have the authority to do that. So the
order. They've reversed him twice on that. Is it at all possible that they could put that to a ballot initiative?
No. Okay. No. What they would have to do is Congress would have to act. So if we have a blue wave and we get a blue Congress and Biden gets reelected, that is how that will happen.
Well,
and I personally,
millennials and all you millennials, get out and vote blue.
Yep.
Get your
you don't want your student loans? Vote blue.
Yeah.
But this part of the program was forgiving the student loans of people who had paid for 20 years and were still paying, forgiving those loans.
And at that point, that's not even real money anymore. They've already not only paid back their loan, but then some.
In most cases, they've paid back the principal amount that they borrowed. They're still just paying interest.
Right, which is absolutely disgusting and ridiculous.
Yeah, because so like in my case, I've been paying 19 years. I took 1 deferment for 9 months. But other than that, I've been paying 19 years. And I just recently got a letter from my servicer, Mohila. I was very excited when I first opened it because it said, there's been a change to your loan. Very excited until I got to the second page that said, congratulations, we just added $11,000 to your loan. So now, not only do you owe almost the same amount as you borrowed, you now owe $10,000 more than you borrowed. Congratulations.
How? What was there?
There was no reason given.
It's not interest?
Yes, it's interest. $11,000 in interest they just decided to tack onto my loan for some reason.
Well, if it's not in the original loan papers, then they can't do that, right?
I don't know why they did that.
Well, I would be finding out.
I mean, I have been having interest all along. That's why my balance is still as high. It's still almost as high as my original loan. My balance was only like $3,000 less than what I originally took out. So, so I was really happy about that. The other part of that program was that they restructured the calculation of your payment, where the Biden administration had, cut it down so that your loan payment would be less. The calculation, I don't remember what the calculation was, but they eliminated that. So my payment's going to go back up to over $500 a month. So,
well, you would think that the business elites would want that to go through so that, all these college educated graduates would have money to spend on frivolous shit.
You would think so. Yeah. But no, the only way that's going to happen is through an act of Congress. And all the people who think that this is some boondoggle and that people aren't paying back their loans, in a lot of cases, people have paid back the amount that they borrowed plus interest. It's just it would be forgiving the additional interest, because these loans don't work. They don't even work like your mortgage. On your mortgage, if your payment is $250 a month and you send in $300, your $250 is scheduled to go in the beginning like $10 to principal and $240 to interest. But if you send in $50 extra, then $60 will go to principal and $240 to interest, right?
Right.
Hang on a sec. The way they explained it to me when I called, because I was sending in extra and I wasn't seeing it. I'm like, I'm paying extra. Why isn't my principal going down? I'm paying extra every month. And at that time, my payment was like, I gotta say $600 a month. So I was paying like $30 extra every month. How they explained it to me was, of course, the vast majority is going to interest and only a few bucks are going to principal, just like a mortgage. However, those $30 extra that I paid, they didn't go anywhere. What they did was they held it. And they would hold that until that extra amount equaled a whole payment. And then they would apply it as a normal payment. And then I wouldn't owe for a month.
Did you not pay for a month at that point?
At $30 a month, I had to go for 20 months paying extra before I get a payment.
I see.
So I stopped paying extra because because I wasn't really getting ahead, because even when I got up to $600 in that account, they would just apply it like a payment. And so $10 would go to principal and the rest would go to interest. So I was paying $600 to get an extra $10 off of my principal. Do you see? Right? I paid them $600 extra and only $10 came off my principal.
You know what?
That's
Thank God.
fraudulent.
Thank God they pulled all the regulations off of those jokers. I mean, Lord knows they couldn't make a dime if they were regulated.
So I stopped paying because I'm not going to pay $600 so you can take $10 off my principal. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's a scam.
Oh,
So yeah, all those people who think, oh, you should pay what you owe because you signed a contract and you need to live up to what you put. I almost flipped off the camera. I was that close. That's what I say to those people.
I mean, you can. It might get us, knocked on YouTube, but we're also on Twitch. Anything goes there. So it's all good.
Well, so I get fired up about that. Those people who say that, and they can just go pound sand. Is what I'll say, because they don't understand what these student loans are. They are a scam.
Well, the people who are saying that are people who never went to college and don't have student loans, or went to college and mommy and daddy were, wealthy and just paid for it.
Or they're my age, like in Generation Jones, and they're like, well, I paid off my undergrad loans in 10 years, because I just paid my loans, so I just paid it off. Well, yeah, I paid off my undergrad loans too. But in the 80s, you could do that. In the 90s, you could do that. Not anymore. Anyway, that was that court case. The second one, this will also probably get you riled up. So what it was a politician. I don't remember the details of, was he a city councilman or was he a county township assessor, or who the hell he was. I don't remember that, but he had He was responsible for getting a contract for services to someone. And he did that and awarded this company that contract. Then the person from that company gave that politician money. I think it was $13,000 or something. That sticks in my head.
It's called kickback, but okay.
And so he was charged with taking a bribe. And they appealed that to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, oh, that's not a bribe. See, a bribe is you ask for the money.
If anybody's going to know what a bribe is. Wait a minute. If anybody's going to know what a bribe is, it's going to be the Supreme Court justices.
So here's how you do a bribe.
If there's one thing they are the last word on, it's knowing how to take a bribe and what a bribe is.
So they gave a good instruction. So Clarence Thomas said, no, here's how you do a bribe. You have to get the money before you do the favor.
Of course he did.
You say, I need this money before you do the favor. Then they give you the money, then you do the favor. That's a bribe.
Well, wait a minute,
What
Clarence.
you
The
did
reason it's
was you did the favor.
Hold on. What somebody needs to understand, what somebody needs to explain to Clarence is that the reason it's called a kickback is because you get paid after the contract is awarded. Therefore, it's a kickback. What he thinks is it should be a kick forward, should be illegal.
And, kickback is fine. That's a term. But the criminal statute says bribery. So what they said was that since he was paid after he awarded this contract, it was simply a gratuity, not a bribe. It was just a gratuity. It's like tipping the waitress after she serves you a meal.
The only reason people tip a waitress is because she's paid $2.10 an hour.
Well, that too.
I think that Clarence Thomas and the yokels are really trying to push and see how far it's going to take before this time the Supreme Court gets rushed. Before people storm the Supreme Court. And because of some of the rulings, I don't know that the Capitol Police will be all that willing, to stand in the way.
Yeah. So that was, not only maddening, it was also ironic. Then the third one that is annoying, there was a case with an undocumented spouse. So this undocumented person from, I think it was Guatemala, was married to an American lawyer, has kids. He wants to apply to become a citizen. So as part of that process, the rule said you have to leave the country and go back to your home. Then you can apply from home. Now, the Biden administration just issued an executive order that said, you don't have to do that anymore. If you're an undocumented person and you're married to a citizen, you can apply for citizenship without having to leave the country because of the possibility you won't get back in.
Right.
So this guy had left and he applied, and someone at his consul, the Guatemalan consul, had denied his application for an arbitrary reason, and they wouldn't say why. So he is stuck in Guatemala, and his wife and children are here. So he was appealing that ruling, saying that his counsel at least had to give him a reason for the denial. It couldn't be arbitrary. If it was arbitrary, it was unconstitutional or some such argument. But basically he was saying that he at least had to get a reason why he was denied. And the Supreme Court said, no, you don't. No, you don't. Not so much.
Well, what I would have done if
He could have just looked at you and said, "I don't like the cut of your jib." Denied.
Well, yeah, but that's, if anybody hasn't figured it out yet, Clarence Thomas is the Black Klansman, okay? And another way of looking at it is that would seem to be a problem with the Guatemalan law and not necessarily ours.
Well, and I could have the council information wrong because I was reading that from a Katie Fang thread. And so I just got a really quick version of it. And I didn't have enough time to go look it up before we got on the podcast. But I'm not 100% sure if the council was Guatemalan or American. I'm not sure which side that was on.
Okay. Well, I would assume that it went to the American Supreme Court, that it was probably the American consulate.
Yeah. That makes sense because we wouldn't really have power over Guatemalans. But what they said was, no, you're not entitled to any reason. They can just deny you. And tough luck, Charlie.
You think Clarence Thomas is gonna feel emboldened enough to start wearing the hood into the chambers?
So you want to hear the bone that they threw us?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Go for it.
What were you waiting for? So they did throw us a bone in that they said there was a case regarding the Biden administration, but basically the FBI and other governmental agencies. They had at times gone to social media companies to urge them to remove posts that were not valid or had misinformation. And the social media companies had said, you can't do that. That's a government overreach. We're unregulated. And the Supreme Court said, nah, they can do that. They can urge you to take those posts down.
Yeah.
There you are. There's a bone.
That's not really a bone. That's just setting it up so that they can, so that they can control information in the future.
It's, they can urge the social media company to take it down, but, they need to ask nicely, I guess.
Could you please take down this post that says President Biden is a pedophile? Please.
Right. So, right. Yeah. So that was the bone that they threw us. Woohoo!
You know what? I think I'd have liked it better if we'd have gone Project 2025, because now my supper is really kind of
not sitting well.
Not sitting so well. Not much tall.
Well, I didn't have time to do Project 2025 reading this week.
I understand, and you gotta build up for that. You gotta be in the right mind space to read that Idiocracy map. So I understand that, but let's tout our solutions with please, folks. The first step in fixing most of these problems is fixing our elections and getting rid of. Well, fixing our elections would be nice. That's a Republican thing to do. But I mean, getting rid of the Electoral College. I mean, they're like 0-50 in the last 4 football seasons. So do they really need to be a college? Seriously? Let's get rid of them. And if you live in a state that has not yet got enough petitions signed and such, you can go to www.nationalpopularvote.com. And there you will find a plethora of information on what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what to do from your seat. Frankly, I think that's the first step in hopefully getting this straightened out before the United States goes the way of the Roman Empire. But that's just my opinion. Yes, go ahead, Dawn.
Okay, so this one is my my solutions oriented pick for the week. Citizens.org. This is overturning Citizens United. So if you're unaware, the Citizens United case, it was a Supreme Court case, surprise, surprise, that basically made bribing members of Congress legal. And
wait a minute, no. That's not bribing. That's kick forwarding members of Congress.
Right. So overturning Citizens United is a movement that, and that's crucial. In addition to having a national popular vote, overturning Citizens United is crucial to fixing our problem. And getting us back at least on the right path of where democracy was what we were all agreeing on. At this website, citizen.org, article by the numbers, there are a bunch of local governments calling for a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United, and 22 states and Washington, D.C., and 12 members of Congress co-sponsoring legislation. And there are links there to each one of those things. And just more people can get involved and take part in this, the better it will be. We really need to get this. Citizens United is bad, and we need to get it done away with.
I agree, because corporations are people, but those people are felons, so they shouldn't be allowed to vote. And our last solution is well, you explained this one. This was your baby before, so.
So Turnout Pack. This is a project where you're writing postcards to swing states to urge them to vote and to vote blue. And you sign up, you get some postcards, and you just handwrite them, and they give you people to mail them to. It's something that you can do to be involved and feel good about having taken part. But yet it's not like going up and knocking on somebody's door, So
hey, and if you got a couple extra bucks, stuff a $5 in there, because apparently kick forwards totally illegal. Kickbacks, you can do it all day long.
That's right.
So you just do that. You call it lobbying. You're in the clear. Have at it. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah. So sad.
Yes. Very, 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 very sad. Well, folks, I believe that's our show. Please, excuse me. Please view us on our YouTube page, our Twitch page. We would be on Facebook, but Facebook has decided that because we don't have 100 followers, we can't, stream to Facebook anymore. So on Facebook, we'll just do Twitch and YouTube apparently. But by all means, give us a watch. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you like the show, if you don't like the show. I mean, we're not going to stop doing it because this is just our hobby anyway. But we would love to have your feedback. You can reach us at leftisright2024@gmail.com, or you can leave us a comment, like and subscribe at leftisright or at leftisrights. I don't know what that is, /2024 on YouTube. So thank you for watching. And for my co-host, Dawn. Oh, I always point the wrong way. Dawn. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I needed money cause I had none. I fought the law and the law won.
I just wanted to say, look, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it.
I never talked this way about him. You probably know. Until I got, who is his, is he a friend? You can get him out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go ahead, you can throw him out.
I needed money cause I had none. I fought the law and